Hello and good evening. Welcome back to Call of Cthulhu. Let's enter the madness, shall we? You know what? Gonna jump over to this side. So let's load up Chapter 6, Hawkins Mansion. We escaped from the hospital with the aid of one of the nurses, or Dr. Colden, I remember. Yeah, he met Dr. Colden. Pierce woke up in an asylum. Pierce woke up in an asylum installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him escape wandering through the corridors of this place where Dr. Fuller reigns supreme. Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders. Before dying in full view of the detective, he accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left their cursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colton. The companions in misfortune decide to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout. Enter madness. Squid. Hello. Oh shit.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Oh yeah, we do. Oh yeah, remember this place? Looks a lot better during the daytime.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce.
Hello.
How do you feel?
A little woozy. I need a drink.
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Well,
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
good question.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
Finally.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
And did he look
And as you can
exactly
tell,
like
Dr. Fuller is
Fitzgerald?
like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him.
Maybe you
Do you wish
should?
to know anything else?
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
No, I
I
wasn't.
remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
It seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Try my fist on your face. I can't use this. I don't have enough medicine. Let's try this.
You two know each other pretty well.
It's a tiny island.
Lovers.
Everyone knows everyone. Especially since I'm a police officer and Marie's a doctor.
The
Doctor.
chemistry is obvious.
Ooh.
I do seem a little bit stupid, don't I? Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
the rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the
See,
events
he's still helpful,
don't.
so
Let's talk about something else.
I don't think he's changed, but I don't know. It's still fishy. Fishy. Whoa!
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
Well, he's dead.
He knew Sarah Hawkins. And that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
It's kind of hard to explain, but you see he was floating up in the air. He called him the Shambler.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
I don't know why I need to do this now. I wish I could make this decision later on, like when I go see Mrs. Sanders there.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Better madness than ignorance.
You say that now.
I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Dr. Fuller certainly looks like a character.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Alright. Pierce, Colden, and Bradley decide to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the quote-unquote Shambler, the unfortunate man mentioned before he died.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders? I'm a private detective.
She looks like she belongs in Deadly Premonition.
Ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
I think it's the haircut.
However, before we go
dress.
any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely...
Hello. What are you doing here?
Oh, well, look who's here.
Suspicious.
You know each other. Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me. You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis
Hired myself.
before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later. Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died.
Well,
How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind
will affect your
words.
destiny.
Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
You know what the Shambler is.
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Yes, you knew this,
Who
didn't you?
else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself.
Yeah, it was,
If you
because
feel so
it was
inclined.
written down.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit.
It was
Because
like
I
on
plan
that
ridding
receipt.
myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
See, it ended the frickin' conversation. I didn't want it to end. Ay, ay, ay. I wanted to ask her why Kat was here.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I'm sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his internment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolences to you, Thomas Fuller. Jesus Christ.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Mm-hmm. More medicine. Okay. Can reconstruct a scene now.
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
More than friends?
A house of artists.
Okay.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
It drives people mad. The insane.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel?
What about you? Ah! Whoa!
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Are you sure about that? Yeah, it is kind of funny that Pierce is like, wait, the Shambler is a painting? Like, it was written in that document of, in the Hawkins manor, and it said it was gifted, like it was given away as a gift.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Okay. Do I have a flashlight? Oh. Yeah. This thing. We have stuff to talk about. Oh.
The
yes.
strange Amerindian pendant.
Okay. The Whale and the Cod. Brief history of Darkwater Island. Oh.
I could use one of those.
Found these sleeping pills in the Sanders house. Were they prescribed to Frances Sanders or Irene? Who's been having nightmares?
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Yeah, that is strange. Dear Frances, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning to you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler, your friend Sarah Hawkins. She straight up warned him of how detrimental it could be.
An old diary.
This volume spends some time on Reverend Wickwood's community. He, I think it was John Wickwood. He created the manor. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, began to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe. Messengers of God or elder ones of the deep. Dissertation on an anatomical question. It is the work of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the questions asked allow us to imagine new ways to exploring human anatomy. Okay. It's a little creepy. Oh. Would you read the book? What? Yeah, read the book. Affect your destiny. Except to read an unholy book. It is a kind of encyclopedia of monstrous and unknown creatures. I'm beginning to believe that they exist. I am losing my sanity. Okay, what are you doing here?
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others.
Ooh.
What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
All right.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland.
Sure.
A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
She probably trusts you more, yeah.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Read what? Oh, here we go. Don't mind if I listen to this.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Where is the Shambler? I thought it was in the gallery, not here. Strength finally comes in use. Wait a second. What? Did I just get cheated out of strength? What the heck? Because what is this required? Wasn't this wouldn't this key be required? What the hell? It's not fair. Like, could you have failed that? Is there a different way of getting in here? Hello, I'm Mr. Fishy Cthulhu Man. Lots of insane things in here, I see. All right, hold on to your butts. Ooh, that was cool. Oh. Nasty. It's the Shambler. We need some of those old weapons. Uh-oh. Oh, thank God it can't see me. It's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
What the hell was that?
You already know what it was. Didn't you read your diary? I'm assuming it's around here still. Run. Running time. Uh-oh. Oh. Son of a bitch. In the closet. Does it know I'm here? This sucks. Do I need to get a weapon? Wait, how does he see me? I thought I couldn't see. Ah! Good job using the dagger there, buddy. Dude, this is so dumb. On the painting? More?
This dagger didn't work.
Is there a specific dagger, or do I just have to do it multiple times?
This dagger looks different.
This dagger looks different. Whatever. Oh shit. Use the dagger. Oh no. I've been touched by the madness. Do it! Remove your hand, it's your only choice.
What's the matter with you?
It's the whiskey.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
She believes me.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater.
Algernon.
He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.
Why did I have to take that key, though? Alright. Next time, we'll be starting chapter 7. So, okay, the biggest complaint about that one, right? Like, at least in the hospital, or the... What do they call the underground bit? He called it something else. At least in the, like, the hospital/asylum area where you were doing the stealth, yeah, it was pretty punishing, but, you know, you had a lot of flexibility as to paths, and you could run away from the guards, the orderlies. This one, dude, come on, like, you couldn't even hide. What? It was like a fake stealth, and you had to run away anyway. And then you have to grab a dagger, and do you use the dagger on the creature? No, you got to use it on the painting. And is it the right dagger? No. So keep guessing. It's just like, if you wanted a runaway section, make it a runaway section. If you want a stealth section, make it so it doesn't see you. Like, I don't get that. Anyway, I probably did it wrong. So, yeah. Next time, we'll be starting chapter 7. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Ignore this. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you're interested in any other gaming related content, please subscribe to GT Variety Gaming.
Bookseller?
If you're interested in Assassin's Creed and the lore within the games, please subscribe to Assassin's Saga. And I want to thank all of you very much. Those new subscribers, old subscribers, anyone stopping by, just watching. You'll never get to the end of the video. Anyway, see you next time.